The word disobedience is generally viewed negatively, but is a normal human reaction. Many of us have disobeyed before, whether it be not following a social norm or not listening to someone. And in many cases, disobedience can have a huge impact. Disobedience is a vital human trait and paramount in contributing to social progress as throughout history. Disobedience has led to social progress because it can change the views society has, lead to new legislation, and a lack of disobedience can have a negative effects on society. So disobedience disobedience is a valuable human trait because when you're getting treated badly or unfairly, disobeying can change things for the better. An example of this is when Christopher Columbus found the Americas in 1492, as you can see on the slides. Many European countries wanted to take the opportunity and expand. Britain was no exception. They created the 13 colonies to expand their territory and make more money. However, after a while, the 13 colonies wanted independence from Britain due to having absurd laws and regulations, as well as having no say in the parliament. In addition to events such as the Boston Massacre, the 13 colonies wanted to rebel and declare independence. The colonies disobeyed their motherland and established their own country, following the results of the American Revolution. Since then, America has developed into one of the strongest nations, and America today is known as the land of opportunities, and it all started with disobedience. Uh, Disobedience promotes social progress because it can lead to new legislation. Oftentimes, when a movement starts and people protest, a country can make new legislation in accordance with what people want. This was the case for the movement for women's suffrage. For a long time, women and men weren't treated equally. Women didn't enjoy the same rights as men, like the right to vote, the right to own property, and the right to run for a political position. Before the 1900s, women were not expected to work, but instead take care of the housework and children. However, women disobeyed this general stereotype and contributed heavily to the war efforts during World War One. Many men couldn't work due to being drafted to the war, and as a result, women took on the responsibility and showed that they could do more than just housework. This, along with many protests, earned women the right to vote with the 19th Amendment. In addition, it changed how society viewed women. This was how disobedience led to social progress of men and women having equal rights. Uh, a lack of disobedience is bad. Disobedience is generally essential to promoting social progress, but a lack of disobedience can be devastating. If people simply obeyed, there would be no social progress because how does society progress if there are no problems? An example of this is if no one complained and protested during the racial segregations in America. Oh, we would still have it today. It was the people who stood up and disobeyed the social norms like Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King Jr. that contributed to social progress. They encouraged and inspired many to follow suit and fight for their rights. They motivated hundreds of thousands of people to disobey what society considered normal and start the civil rights movement. Due to this, America is now a much safer and less prejudiced place for many. However, if no one disobeyed racial segregation, who knows what America would have become if as they wouldn't progress as a society. So in conclusion, disobedience has led this world to social progress and it is an important trait. It is because of this trait that humanity has moved forward. It is through disobedience that society can change their views and laws, and a lack of disobedience is catastrophic. Obedience is crucial, but disobedience is just as essential. Without both, society would not be as progressed. However, disobedience is the only one of the two that has a negative connotation.